So this tutorial is picking up off of my previous video, so hopefully you've seen that, or you might be a bit lost here. I still have my lip-synced audio here, although I've changed to a different one, since I just can't imagine what it would be like to hear that same one as I used last time for the entire tutorial. People would get the wrong idea. I didn't shoot him, he slipped on a bullet! Okay, so, anyway, here we're going to be demonstrating why Faceposer is about a lot more than just face posing. Alright, so here you'll see why it says choreography here. We're going to add this sound to a choreography scene. So go to choreography, new. Most of the time it'll just expect that you've changed whatever's there. I'm just going to make a scene called bullet.vcd. And so now I'm going to show you a little diagram I've made of the hierarchy that I've bastardly chopped together in paint.net. The way it works is, in a choreography file, you have multiple actors, each of which have multiple channels, all of which have a bunch of events in them. An event would be something like a wave file. You've just made the choreography, so now it's going to prompt you to create an actor and a channel. So for actor, I'm just going to say guy. For channel, you right click on guy down here, click new channel, and I'm just going to call this one voice because that's what's going to go in that. Okay, now to add the wave file to it, right click in this area here and click wave file from this list of choices. Now make an event name for it. I'm just going to say bullet, and the sound is bullet.wave. There's a list here. You won't actually see your file in here. This is only if you added your sound to the script files, which is something you might want to do if you're making like a high-class professional mod, but chances are you're just doing stuff like this for fun, like I am, so I just put it in here. It's a bit messy, but I think it worked okay. Okay, so now you have it playing in here. Alright, now a quick look on YouTube will show you that many people have gotten this far, so I don't want to see you trying to impress everyone just because you've gotten this working. I congratulate you, but don't pull out fraps just yet, because I'm going to show you things that may really make your work stand out. Alright, we're going to make a new channel here, new channel, and I'm going to call this gestures, because that's what I'm going to put in it. So gestures are basically light animations used to add emphasis to dialogue. To add them, you can either right-click here and select gesture, which will give you a drop-down menu of the possible animations, or you can click the tab down here, animations, and you can select one of the appropriate ones. For some reason some of mine are wireframe. I haven't figured out why. Click the gestures tab to see the appropriate ones, and so I'm going to look for something like a shrug to seem defensive. Here we have something appropriate. And just so you know, to back off of your character, go to Options, Center View. That'll center to the center of the model. Now you right click on the model and drag back, and you'll see the entire thing. Now, this one seems pretty appropriate, so I'm going to drag that down in here to gestures, and it's going to be a gesture as opposed to a sequence, and we're just going to call it shrug. Okay, now you'll see a bunch of arrows down here, apex, accent, loop, and end. These basically control the key timing points of the sound. So like, you might want his hands to come down at the emphasized parts of his speech and then maybe stay there for a while longer while he finishes what he's saying. So so basically like the apex marks when he's about to do the action, like he's raised his hands up, and accent would be when he's shrugged. Loop is when he's in a stance that he can stay in for a while. So you could end up having like loop and end be completely on the opposite side of the thing, and he'd just be in a shrugged stance for the whole thing. and end is like when he starts going back to a normal stance. That's generally how it is. Alright, so now I'm going to slide this thing around to try to find. So that's about when I'd want the apex to be. I mean the accent. Sorry. And so I'll just see if there are some other things that I'd want to add to this, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so now I've added a few more gestures to the file. There's a thing where he like moves his body backwards a bit. Let me back out so you can see it. He like sort of flicks his hands up, dismissing the fact that he's being accused, and so let's take a look at how it looks together. I didn't shoot him. He slipped on a bullet. You can ignore how he looks with his like arms out like this. He's going to just go back to the default stance he is in game, so you don't need to worry about that. Now you may notice here that I have a bunch of the animations overlapping. Animations usually only apply to the certain parts of the body that like are moving. So if you have multiple ones at the same time, then it'll still work and they'll just be layered on top of each other. And so that can be used to create some more interesting effects, like this shrug with the leaning backward, like makes him look like he's being really defensive about it, and like almost scared. Now I think this makes him a bit more believable, like with all the gestures, but still, if you look closely at his face, he still looks pretty dead. So the next thing I'm going to add is a flex animation event. So I'm going to add a new channel. It's something you should try to do for every new type of event that you make, and just call it flex, and make a flex animation event. Call it, face. Then make it last the whole scene. Now to edit this, you go to the flex animation window. Alright, now you might recognize some of these if you've used Gary's mod before. These are the same muscles that are used to like change the facial expression of a ragdoll in that game. The only ones that are new are head right, head up down, head tilt, eyes. I'm not quite sure if the ones below that work. But first off, let's just start with the basics. To open one, you double click it, and you'll see the graph of its movement. In Eraser is the eyebrow, which is normally what can be used to express a lot of emotions. So I'm just going to move here, and to make a new keyframe, you press Control and click here. And let's say I thought this was a bit too much, I can click and drag it downwards. And to reposition the keyframe on the timeline, Control and click on it and drag it around. And now, because I don't want to have his, let's say like I did it closer to the ground back here, and I didn't want his eyebrow going like all the way up here. I can even it out like this, but I'm just gonna have one up here, and maybe have it start off over there, and just even it out and go down. I'm not going to add too much to this because I'm going to be making another tutorial about it, and you sort of maybe get the idea. It's best to just play around with it yourself. You can get a lot of things accomplished with this.